Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V registered EX08UYN. This is a 2.2 EX diesel manual. Mileage currently showing on the car is 141,183. Reason for doing the videos is exactly the reason we're driving the car today. It's because we want customers to see the cars we're selling actually in operation. And if there are any issues on the cars, you get to know about them before they turn up. And this one, as I said, is a case in point. Cars come in as a part exchange to us. A couple have bought another CR-V, much newer one from us. And this is the car that they offered us. As those who have seen the advert will know, this has been offered at a price around about half its true value, and for good reason. I mean, in essence, it drives very nicely, but it does have some issues, some cosmetic issues, which we've shown in the photographs. But notably, there's a couple of issues with the vehicle in terms of the suspension and air conditioning, and I think there's one other thing which I'm trying to think of at the moment, and it'll come back to me no doubt in due course. But I'll go through the cars I always do one by one, starting with the engine, which starts instantly and settles to a completely even and smooth idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. Temperature gauge running at a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on one of these cars. The engine pulls very, very well. It's typical of the CTDI engines, very gutsy units. Sounds sweet in operation, so it all seems pretty good there. Engine then feeds through into clutch and gearbox. Clutch in the car is smooth, positive. Bite point exactly where it's meant to be. No squeaks on the pedal at all, and put your foot down hard in any gear. There's no slip, and all seems fine as it stands. Gearbox in the car, 6-speed box. Always been a brilliant gearbox on the car. Virtually nothing to worry about on these, and this is a prime example of that. The gear change is absolutely brilliant. It's short and throw, it's positive, it's mechanical feeling, and it engages gear much as it would have done when it was new. It feels absolutely spot on in that respect. Steering on the car is of a generation that I personally love. It's obviously proper old-fashioned power steering with oil that goes through it, and that means you get genuine feel back to the steering of the car. It feels nice and secure on the road. It's a very accurate power steering system, to be fair to it. It's very, very car-like in the way it feels, and it feels nice and tight and taut on the road. I'll just get round to a slightly straighter bit, just a second. It tracks nice and straight. There's no, we've got a straight bit, nice and straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit that I've been to, at least anyway. Suspension on the car. So this is basically it's kind of the main issue of the car, if you want. At the back, I can hear sort of rattling from the suspension. It doesn't sit. I mean, when you drive along here, you can't hear it at all. It's when you hit a bump like that, at slower speeds, you can hear it knocking away. It's not definitely, but it's nearly always just little drop links on the back. You've got two either side, common, or but you say we've not investigated it. We haven't got time, is the long and short of it. We're incredibly busy, which is why we're selling the car at the price we are. So that does need attending to for anybody. Obviously, the car's got a relatively short MOT. I think it's until September. So again, I'm imagining that must or will need attending to prior. Other than that, it drives really lovely on the road. It feels really solid. Always with CR-V, they ride really well. They go through the corners really nicely, and aside from the noise, it's very, very nice indeed. Brakes on the car, make sure no one's directly behind me. Good shove. It's a nice solid brake pedal on the vehicle. What I'm looking for is that when you hit the brakes, that you get a good bite, which it does, but also that you don't get any kind of vibrations or pulsing coming back through the brake pedal, and there's nothing that shows itself there. So coming inside the car, actually in very good, I mean, it's a clean would make it lovely. It's actually in very, very good condition in here. They're beautifully built. There's no squeaks or rattles, of course. It's been kept very nicely. The leather works particularly good for this age car, I have to say. Sat nav working perfectly, as you can see there. So coming to other issues, of which there's just a couple minor ones. Air conditioning, I can't feel any cold air. You've got the little light flashing there, which is normally a sign it's low on pressure. That doesn't mean it is just gas, by the way. So it could be as simple as just putting some gas in it, that's absolutely fine. Or you could be looking at things like a compressor. We don't know, again, so that's not, because we do know, quite the opposite, just being honest with people and saying that it might be more than that, but hopefully not. It could even just be a fuse, it's as simple as that, but there is no cold air that I can feel coming through there at all. Dash in front, all the gauges working, cruise control, all working perfectly. Again, it just feels really, really nice on the road, it really does. I'm trying to rack my brains to think if there's anything else. The electric blind works perfectly well, all the electric windows, electric wing mirrors, power fold, and they adjust in all the normal positions. Central locking works perfectly. So in essence, it really is, you're just looking at some cosmetic stuff on the outside, as I said, which we've highlighted. You've got some suspension to attend to at the back there, and if you really want the air conditioning working, then you may have to dig into that if you really want to. But as I said, that is reflected very much in the price we're selling the car at. So for someone, it's going to make a really, really good workhorse, or if someone wants to bring it right up to spec, they might have to spend a bit to do so, but it's got the foundations of a very good car. But the point of the video, as I said, brief as it might be, is just to show if there are any issues, and there are a few, and hopefully I've highlighted them for you.